Hello, my name is Jack Falzone, and these will be my virtual interview questions. When you were a kid, who did you want to be when you grew up? When I was a kid, I was extremely fortunate to be surrounded by family members that worked extremely hard at what they did and sacrificed a lot for their job. One person who showed me this day in and day out was my father. He started out studying engineering at Michigan and quickly realized it wasn't for him, so he transferred down to Embry-Riddle to get an aircraft technician degree. He spent a long time in the airline industry, and he now fixes various hospital equipment, troubleshooting and installing stuff like that. He's really the person that showed me exactly what I wanted to be when I grew up and showed me it wasn't necessary to conform to what others say that you need to do if you just realize the potential that you have. Give an example of when you had to work with someone who was difficult to get along with and how you handled the interactions with that person. My summer property manager job proved to have some difficult interactions, especially with the tenants of the apartment building. I did have some good relationships with the tenants, but some tenants were difficult to work with and difficult to get along with, especially over small problems and fixes. One example is when we had to change the HVAC filters in all the units. Prior to changing them, we set out a schedule just to get it done within a certain period of time. We were trying to be accommodating to all the tenants when creating the schedule. However, some did not really want to comply with the schedule that we created. I was actually able to approach some of them and hash out the problem and get scheduling that worked with them and for their needs. So it ended up taking quite a long time to do all the HVAC units and do the proper maintenance. As property managers, the main goal is really satisfying the tenants' wishes and commands. Even though we had to maintain our certain schedule and get it done proper timing, it was necessary to accommodate both parties' needs and what really worked for both of us. What are the three things that are most important to you in a job? A good work environment, the love for what you do, and company loyalty are very important. I believe the three go hand in hand for any job. If you love what you do and if the company suits their environment to the needs of the employees, that will almost certainly boost the company loyalty. For me, if I enjoy showing up to my job every day and if the company creates an environment that benefits me as an employee and makes me feel comfortable and able to do the work at my peak performance, then I can see myself staying loyal to the company for a very long time. Give an example of an occasion when you use logic to solve a problem. Being young, it can be a pretty big issue to overspend on your budget and to buy things that aren't necessary or feasible when you are on such a small budget. Almost every school year, I sit down and create a monthly budget for myself to allocate my finances to specific things that I deem necessary. This really does help me out a lot by knowing how much I'm spending and how much of my money is going where. I usually create around 5 different categories and assign them a capped dollar amount to know exactly how much I'm spending on each category. For example, I'll assign grocery money, say $60 a month, and track how much money I'm spending. What was the first thing you've ever designed? Pretty much my whole life I've been into airplanes and aviation and still am. I can remember sitting down for hours and drawing all of Boeing's airplanes and trying to replicate them perfectly. I would even take different parts of the plane, such as the wings and the nose, and try to redraw and redesign them to what I thought would look better. Recently, on a more attainable scale, a couple of years ago, I designed a spare tire carrier for my truck. I had to take specific measurements and draw out multiple multi-view drawings. I had to sketch all the views by hand just because I didn't have access to a CAD program then. But I really wanted the drawings just to have in hand if I were ever to take it to a machine shop and actually get it built for me. But it never ended up getting into production. So thank you very much for the opportunity to answer some virtual interview questions. I look forward to hearing from you guys very soon.